Alrighty, what is up, everybody? Check it out, check it out. There's two of them. First place, baby. Oh, what a day. What a day. And it's not even 1 p.m. yet. Alright, so I started this video earlier and then I got off track while talking. I'm going to try to keep it short and simple on the point. So I've ran probably over 105 Ks. Like I go and like when I'm fight camping, it's 3 5Ks a week. And one of the days I had sprints. I've kind of toned it down a little bit here because my last camp, my knees started hurting me. I'm not sure, and I couldn't track it to if it was the running on concrete so much because I was doing it faster, or I was cutting this angle. I'm trying to work on this one angle cut, and it might have been. Anyways, ran over 105 Ks. I'm probably around 40-ish 5Ks that are like tracks, like for some sort of event. But I do them all virtual for the most part. Like I use a company called Virtual Strides a lot. I've done St. Jude's. I think I've done one or two other things. But I go wherever I want and I run them on my own and track it through my phone and then turn in my results like that. And it's all for charity and whatever. It's just a way for me to, makes me feel good about my exercise and stuff like that. And I really like giving back. But the last couple of months I've been trying to face like anxiety and whatever. But groups of people just isn't my type of thing. That's another reason why I run the 5Ks by myself, man. There's always a bunch of people at this. And anyways, this was my first 5K today, like at an actual event with people. And it was a great time. I didn't know anyone there at all. And I'm really proud of myself for going. And I didn't even just go and run and perform pretty well. We'll get into the performance part here in a minute. I stuck around by myself for like an hour to wait for the awards and ate. And the honest to God happiest moment of this entire experience for me today was so they gave awards, like they did a 5K and a 10K and a half marathon, and they did like your overall first through third, and then they did it by age group. So like I got first in my age group. I didn't get first overall. This freaking kid that was like 20, he was out there stunting. Sorry, we're gonna get into performance in a minute. But there were a lot of awards given out. And, as the awards went on, the clapping and cheers for people got quieter. And it's like, I don't know, being by myself, it's like I wasn't succumbed to any pressure. And I just, especially as they go up in age, man, there was this guy that was like 79. So when the clapping was quiet, that's when my clapping got louder. You've probably heard me talk, if you've watched my videos, you've heard me talk about being in the audience and yelling and how it influences the people around you. The same occurred with the clapping. I might be the first one to clap and it's like really forceful. Then other people picked up and followed suit. And it just felt great to be a part of that, to like cheer people on. Man, that dude was 79 out there, and I think he beat what I would have done in a half marathon. Like, that's crazy. So let that be motivation. To all you people that are under 30 out there talking about running so hard, you're lazy. Not going to be nice. You're lazy. This guy was 79. He would have made y'all look goofy just because he got out there and he tried. He didn't quit once it got hard. Anyways. All right. So on the performance part of this 5K, the first thing I need to speak to, and in a way I knew this, but I didn't. It never registered in my mind. I believe I talked with my coach about this event a year or two ago. And I think he told me this. I think we were talking about signing up for it, and then he didn't want to because of what it was, or I don't know what happened. But all those 5Ks that I run them like in a parking lot or on a sidewalk or whatever. I keep it flat and level for the most part. Occasionally I go to this event was at my local park. I go to this local park and it's got a perfectly routed 5K like sidewalk that goes around this little lake. And that has a lot of incline and decline. So I go and I mix it up and I run over there occasionally. I assumed that was what I was going to be running today. It was not. This event was built around mountain biking. So and I kind of should have known this. It just didn't register. We didn't run on the freaking trail, which is like wide enough for like a car to go down and still have room. We ran on the mountain bike trails that are like in the woods, and they're like just enough for one bike in a lot of the spots, and it is constant up, down, and it's not, the ground isn't flat. There's all these potholes and dips and rits and the curve. So my anxiety got the best of me at the beginning. You know, like, I don't know how to explain it. I knew where to go, but I seen this other tent that was right by where I parked. Like, I kind of tried to park away from the event so that I wouldn't get stuck there. And I walk over there, and like, I don't really know what to do. I walk up to a table, and they're like, yeah, you're good to go. And I'm like, okay, hopefully I hear when we start or something. You know, I didn't say that. That's just what goes through my head, having anxiety. Well, they get us all down there, I guess, and they line us up. For some reason, I thought we were going to take off the way I normally go, which is to the left, but we took off to the right. I realized that in the line, I am at the very end. There might be 5 people behind me, but there's 100 people in front of me, and we're on the normal trail that's wide. You run about 30 feet, and then you transition to the trail that's like this. Oh my God. The first quarter mile was a bottleneck mess. You had people that were trying to keep pace with people in front of them because they felt like it was what they're going to do, but you could tell they hadn't ever done this before. They hadn't ran before. So like the first quarter mile is definitely more energy burned on keeping myself slow and not falling on top of someone and running them over. Right when I get around a half, I pass a couple people after a quarter mile because I'm like, this is going to take me an hour. And that's not to sound negative. I was just like, I'm not getting anything out of this. So I kind of just literally dart off into the grass and pass a couple. Around the half-mile mark, I'm like, all right, I'm really going to do it. That's when I really start getting past people, start seeing people start walking in, things like that. Started creating a gap. The 1 mile mark was where the gap stayed. Once we hit 1 mile, I think after that, it was like a slow, there was gaps between everybody. Like, I lost the leader at that point, but I could see like 4th place. I kept with like, I'm wanting to say it was 4th place the whole time. I could be wrong, but it was around like that. It was hard to keep track because there are a lot of people. But, so after 1 mile, you start having these gaps. And I think I stayed in that spot. I might have passed about 3 people. Like, I know when we got to the 2 mile mark, this guy that was a lot older than me, he was keeping a great pace in front of me, and he stopped and walked and drank some water, and I passed him. Other than that, it was pretty steady. They wrote this and told us this ahead of time, and I remembered reading it when I ran into it out there running. So when you hit a 5K is like 3.13 miles. So when have my headphones on and everything, when my earphones tell me I'm at 3 miles, I'm like, all right, I'm at the end. Let's book it. We only got less than a minute to go. We're gonna be tired. So that's what I start to do. And I finish at, I don't know what my time would have been to finish, to be honest. But I'm approaching to where I'm like, in my head, you can kind of tell when a minute's up, and I've done this a lot. So I'm like, I'm looking at the people in front. There's still another half mile. So right around then, a guy ends up passing me. And then we stayed like that. I ended up catching up to him. And I could have passed them, but I was like, I didn't know how much longer they were going to have us run. And I was like, did they track my 5K time back there? Or do I got to go all the way to this finish line? And I'm glad I didn't stop or anything. I wish I kind of would have sprinted on past them. I could, but I mean, it really wouldn't have mattered. But the finish was the finish line. So there was a whole extra half mile that in my head I didn't account for. But they told us it wasn't anything dirty or nothing. I just like sharing all this because, like, if someone with anxiety goes out there and does this type of information is so helpful to people that have anxiety, because we don't know what's about to happen. And it's just nice to know what's going on around you and everything. I got a guy like at a stoplight with his left blinker on, but he's in the left, or his right blinker on, and he's in the left lane. He's just, everyone's like trying to deal with whether he's coming over or not. Sorry, got distracted. Anyways, and one last thing I want to put on this, all these events that I've ever done, like I'll probably have a picture of my medals today. They're all for charity. I just like charity. I think I might have started the video saying that. But altogether, this event cost me $36.85, I think, with taxes and fees and registration. I made a video of the goodie bag they gave us. When we get out there, after the race and everything, there were all kinds of prizes. Like a bunch of people won stuff. My ticket got drawed and I chose this water bottle. But there was like $50 gift cards and big basket. There was like valuable stuff out there. And it's just cool, man. In addition to that, they gave away a $1,500 bike. They fed us and soda water. Oh, and I ended up giving them to a lady when I went to this thing at work after the 5K, but they gave me like a real big, healthy thing of mums, they're like flowers. I don't know how to take care of stuff like that. So I went to this thing at work after that. We were having like employee appreciation. And I gave them to a lady there that I work with. Hopefully she enjoys them. But all the stuff I got out of it far exceeds $36.85, and it helped with the DARE program. Give back to a charity. Did something cool, you know. So I always encourage everyone to do all this. Trying to think if there was anything else I really wanted to throw in on this video. Sign up, do some 5Ks. I'm definitely going to do this one next year. I'm going to actually practice for this next year. It being on trails was a lot more challenging than I expected, but it was a great event. I had a great time. Got my first place in my age group and then my participation medal. Hope y'all have a great day.